All right. Let me bring up the chat window here. All right. We will start the show here in about 4 minutes. I've got the DMR talk group going. And also have the live chat going. So anybody tuned in, go ahead and feel free to ask any questions. And like I said, we'll start here shortly. I have to remember to keep this from closing out on me here. It likes to log my phone out. I'll have to work on that one too. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes, see if anybody joins in here. That'll get started working through my gear, and if anybody misses the live stream, they can go back and check it out. All right, give me just one moment here. I have got to grab my talk group number, and I will put that in the group chat for those who are in that. And then we'll go from there. Probably should have had that ready before I started the stream tonight, but unfortunately I can never remember it off the top of my head.
November 0 Alpha Echo Victor, KF0RWH.
KF0RWH, November 0 Alpha Echo Victor. How's it going, Wade?
I'm watching you on my phone here, and I was wondering, what size of battery are you using?
In the battery box I got right here, I got the big boy out tonight. This has got a 15 milliamp LifePo 4 battery. I can usually, with the setup I'm got with me tonight, honestly, I usually get 10 or 12 hours out of it before I've got to charge it.
Oh, very good, very good. Hey, thanks for being out there tonight. This is really neat that you're doing a Q&A thing there using DMR. I'm really digging that. Well, I'm back on here. Thanks for answering my question, and I'll be looking forward to watch you on YouTube. KF0RWH.
Hey, appreciate you calling in tonight. November 0 Alpha Echo Victor. I will still be monitoring to take anybody's questions, and I'm going to go ahead and get started pulling some gear out here. And like I said, anybody wants to put something in the chat or ask a question about it, feel free and don't hesitate. So we'll start with the antenna that I've been using, and it's been my go-to for a while, and that is this guy right here. The original design of it is from DigiRig, the gentleman who created the DigiRig digital sound card came up with it. It's called the Digitenna. You can download the STL file for the housing here to 3D print it yourself at home. He also sells them. Last I seen, if you buy his pre-built ones, they're about $95. Everything he turns out is top tier, high quality. So I wouldn't hesitate, if you don't have a 3D printer, to look into it. My personal one that I built, I changed the design a bit. He uses a 49:1 infed. You can get it in both a 40 meter and a 20 meter half wave. I run and built mine as a 9:1 random wire. I cut mine to 35 feet, which is going to give me 40 through 10 meters. I do have to use a tuner, but I have found this antenna to be my absolute go-to. I run 50 watts on it, absolutely no problems. Just one moment here, we'll fix. There we go. Camera's happy again. But I run 50 watts, no problem. I can't recommend this antenna high, even high, more high than I do now, and it fits right in your pocket. Just an awesome antenna, BNC connection, and it's cool. It just strings out, put it up. When you're done, reel it back in, off you go. Easiest antenna I found to deploy. So that's my antenna. My go-to coax, RG316. There's a 50-foot run of it. I stick with 50-foot because I do use my coax as a counterpoise. And with that being said, I've got 7 31 mixed toroids in here to create the choke. I run the choke at my radio, and I haven't had any issue with RFI or anything like that. I know a lot of guys use RG8X, RG8. This stuff's been awesome. It's lightweight, fits in your bag, doesn't weigh you down. And, you know, people talk about line loss, everything like that. The last successful POTA activation I had up here, I was using this with the antenna that I showed. I made a contact all the way in Alaska on 10 watts. So I'm willing to argue the fact with anybody. When conditions are good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad. Yeah, your feed line might make a little bit of difference when you're dealing with HF. It does in UHF, VHF, but right here, it's my go-to. You know, and best part is you can pick that stuff up on Amazon. It's gone up a little bit with the tariffs, but it's still relatively cheap for a 50-foot chunk of coax. So we'll move into the radio. This has been my go-to for a while now. And that is the Xeigi X6100. Is it the highest quality radio out there? Nope, but it does have the best tuner on the market built in. It has yet to ever fail me. It's got a built-in battery. I generally don't use it only because the one thing I can say is the built-in battery doesn't last that long. The other side is when you use the built-in battery, you get 5 watts output. If you use an external power source, you're going to go ahead and you're going to get 10 watts. The other thing I do with mine, there is a aftermarket firmware out there. You just download it right to an SD card. You don't have to do anything other than that. You build you use like Bellina Etcher or one of, 10 different softwares out there. Burn it to the SD card, stick it in the radio, and let's see if I can actually see what I'm doing here. We'll kind of let people see the screen on this. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Trying. So you get a whole different look to it. A lot of people kind of compare it to when the waterfall's going, kind of looking more like a 705. The other nice thing about this firmware, you can do on the radio itself FT8, and you can pop that SD card out once you're done, plug it into your computer, open the file, and it'll actually have all your QSOs from FT8 logged in an ADIF format. So if you're running parks on the air, you can drag it, drop it, and you're done. Simple, really convenient. Let's see here, the other side of this. Other thing I do keep with me, depending on where I'm at, this is an AM broadcast filter. A couple times I have had to employ this. The one thing with the Xeigi products, they do have a tendency to have their front end overloaded when you're dealing with AM broadcast stations. That's, yeah, I think that's $30 on Amazon. It's made here in the United States, and it works good. So that is the radio that I generally bring out. And I just keep it. This is actually a case for, what are they called? GoPros. And try and do this without spilling everything here. Fits everything in here. And on, got a little flap, folds down. You've got the back side with a little zippered compartment. Works good, keeps your radio protected. The one thing I did do is I 3D printed a faceplate cover. Goes right over the face of the radio, protects that screen. So there's the radio. Push that off the side here. And like I was saying earlier, when it comes to running the random wires, you do, well, so if you're running just the Xeigi radio direct into your antenna, the Xeigi 6100, G90, 6200, they'll all tune it without fail. We'll do it every time. I guess we'll start with the first part of it, why I do bring a tuner with me, and that is this guy right here. This is the Micro PA50. It is a 50-watt amplifier. Does, I believe it's 80 through 6. And as you can see, compared to my hand, it's not very big. It's a little 12 volt. It originally comes with SO239s on it. I 3D printed some adapters and adapted it over to BNC. BNC is my go-to on pretty much everything, handhelds included, just for the convenience factor of it. And then that'll bring me around to, yep, my tuner. Got to thank KF0RWH for showing me this. This thing, Amazon, it's under $100, and the thing works flawlessly. I opted to go with the battery-powered one just because I can absolutely see myself forgetting to charge a battery before going out into the field, because I've done it with my batteries for the radio, get out here, and all of a sudden the entire Parks in the Air is done because I can't power anything on. So I run with this. It's just plugs into my battery, and this thing is, it's awesome. You got, LDG and all the other high dollar stuff out there. but I wouldn't hesitate to run this thing on my 710. In fact, I have ran it on my 710, so definitely worth the money. If I remember right, they're about 69 or 70 bucks. Well worth it. 100% worth it. So now that we've got the antenna and stuff out of the way, the radio, how do I put my antenna up? This guy right here. 20-foot carbon fiber mast. And comes out. It's just like a collapsible fishing pole. Stretch it out. And you've got a little eyelet on top so you can clip your antenna into it. These do not come with the paracord on here. You can lose this cap. At the advice of a lot of different YouTube channels, drill a hole through the cap, put a piece of paracord, knot it, little duct tape around the top. You'll never lose the cap. Like I said, it doesn't weigh hardly anything, and again, 17 inches, I believe, is the measurements on this, fully collapsed, 20 foot. And then there is another YouTuber out there. His name is Dude Tested is his channel. And he came up with this design for putting this in the ground. Let's get the camera going again because this thing keeps messing with me. All right, give it a second here. I do believe. Let's let it catch up with me here. There we go. There we go. We are back in business. Gotta love technology. Let me actually move something on my screen here too to make this work a little bit easier for me. All right, now I can see better. So, unscrew your spike here. And what he did is he designed these caps. And then, I'd have to look. I do not remember what size Schedule 40 you use, but you just do that. That screws right on in. You'll drive that into the ground, and then see if I can do this without dumping everything everywhere. So the bottom of this comes off. That slides right in there like so. And that'll hold your mast up for you. That way you don't have to try and lean it into a tree, what have you. I have ran it on pretty windy days. It does hold up pretty good. If it's too ridiculous, then, you know, you do have a chance. It is, the caps are plastic. They're 3D printed. You do have the chance of breaking them. But that is how I put my mast up and keep it up. And we'll get into a few odds and ends here. Nice thing is when you're done, it'll screw in the back side of this so you don't have the thing jiggling around. I definitely wouldn't recommend trying to take this onto an airplane. I have carried that carbon fiber mast onto a plane, and TSA did not hassle me one bit. Actually, that was flying from Omaha out to Sacramento, California, and back from Sacramento. Neither TSA bothered me. So, like I said, I wouldn't try the Spike, but you know, your mileage may vary. Something else I bring out with me. Power meter. These things are awesome. It'll actually let you kind of figure out your battery. KF0RWH got a hold of me at the beginning of this asking me about my battery. This is kind of how I figured out how long I can operate, because it will give you your current draw and everything like that on here. So go out, do an operation with it, write down what your draw was. You can match that to a battery with your setup. That way you don't over discharge a battery. Some of the cheaper batteries, they don't have low voltage cutoffs, so it's very easy to overdraw your battery. Next thing you know, you've got $40 brick, because that's all it's good for. So extension cable, Anderson power poles on everything. I got rid of the T connectors and all that on all of my radios a long time ago. I can't stand those things. They were designed for automotive. They were not designed for the kind of current that we run as ham radio operators in our radios. So if you can, switch over to Andersons. You'll never have a problem. Now my battery box, I'll try and show this on camera here. So I built it. You've got your sets of power poles right here. Right there, you've got your voltage meter. You've got USB-C, USB-A, power out. If anybody wants to know where or needs links to any of this kind of stuff, feel free to leave a comment. I will put those links into the description. You can get it all on Amazon. So, and then again, this is another one that KF0RWH got, and I seen and I liked. It is the Baofeng DM32 DMR radio, 10 watts. This thing is an absolute powerhouse. It is a beast. It works. It works really well. The programming on it was easier than any of my other DMR radios. I know a lot of people complain about their CPS software being clunky. I didn't see it. I had about a day in really learning it. I mean, there is definitely a learning curve dealing with DMR, but works good.
Question? Works really well.
Go ahead, Wade.
I was just curious, KF0WH here. I was wondering, what size of amps for power poles do you recommend?
I generally recommend going with the 30 amp. You can get 15, 30, and 45. I think there's a couple other ones in there. 30 is going to be your all around. So your 100-watt radios, they're rated for 30 amp. So definitely, all my stuff's done with 30s. That way you don't have to worry about, heat issues or anything like that.
Oh, cool beans. Hey, thanks for coming back to me and answering my question. And I'm enjoying your video, KF0RWH.
Hey, I appreciate the flowers. November 0, Alpha Echo Victor. Uncle Bo, I probably will not activate tonight. I just wanted to get up here, do a video. I'm going to try and start doing on Sunday nights. I'd like to do more of the Q&A, show and tell type of stuff. If people have questions over gear or, you know, anything that, you know, they want to learn about, I'd be more than happy to share any knowledge that I have. Then I'll probably try and do 3 recorded videos throughout the week of an activation. We're starting to finally get some nice weather around here. So I'll definitely be out doing more activations, and I will be recording those and posting those up. A couple other pieces of gear that I'm using now for now that we talk about videos. Just got the DJI, the Osmo Mobile 7. It's a gimbal for your phone. It's got, I just ordered the attachment for it to have active tracking. So that way it'll track me as I move. It keeps the phone nice and steady. So, you know, if there's any kind of vibration or it moves, it keeps the video nice and stable. I'm recording using a iPhone 17, just the standard version of it. The microphone, and well, that's the only downside I'm finding with this, is it likes to do that to me. I'm gonna have to make sure I figure out how to disable it shutting off when I do this. The microphones I'm using they're an Amazon. I think they were 20 some bucks. That's these little guys right here. It's got a little dongle that plugs into my computer. And then when I do my live stream or my recordings, so I can get the audio in from my radio, actually, here we go. I use a set of patch cables here. So it's a Y cable. This goes into my radio. And then just your standard aux cable. And then this is a TRS to TRRS adapter cable. So it goes from the 3-ring, of course it's not going to focus on that, but your typical 2-ring and a tip to your 3-ring and a tip that you'd use for your microphone and what have you. And then so that I can hear, I've just got this right here again. Another thing that Wade, KF0RWH, had showed me. It's a Bluetooth transmitter, and I just wear my Bose earbuds. They've got noise canceling to it, so even in a noisy environment, I can hear what's going on. And the nice thing is, you know, you get too many people that want to stand 5 feet away from you being loud when you're trying to have an activation. So this lets me block them out. Works pretty good. Few other things as far as video. Little tripod here. I love this thing. Extendable. It gets about as tall as I am. Folds up nice and small. Goes, and with this, kind of cool thing about it is it's got a remote with it that'll Bluetooth to your phone. So I can start and stop video with this if I'm using this tripod. I think this thing was 22 bucks on Amazon, and even if it's came with a clamp for your phone too, so I mean, heck, if a guy's trying to get some decent photos of their family or what have you, this thing's awesome. Again, it's lightweight. Throw it in the bag, off you go. Let's see. A couple little other things that I do carry with me just in case. This is a Wago connector. So you put your stripped wires in here. This lever locks. Clip it down. You got your power poles on the other end. This thing is invaluable. If you ever get out here, you break a power line, cable, what have you, it can save your activation quick, because all you do, you strip your wires back, match up the colors, positive, negative, clamp it down, plug it in, you're back on the air. I have broke wires and power poles before, so it works great. And your adapters, I always carry a bag of assorted adapters. You never know what you're going to need when you get out here. I think we're coming about to the end of it here. Other than your my jumper cables for to go from my amp and my tuner to my radio. So I appreciate everybody that's tuned in tonight. Like I said, I'm going to try and start doing these Sunday nights. Get out here. I'd like to try. I know I won't have time tonight, but I think next week, I'd like to try and get on 40 meters and see if we can't make some contacts with the guys that are watching the live stream. You guys will be able to go back. You'll be able to hear your audio through the live stream, so you'll know exactly how you're sounding on my end. And I know we got some guys, out on the East Coast and stuff like that. It'd be really cool to make that contact, especially live on the air. So with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and close out the live stream. I'll edit the description on this once I get home. Everybody can go back. I'll put up the links to, the DigiRig products. Phenomenal stuff. I use, their sound card for FT8, your digital modes. He makes cables for every single radio you could ever imagine to patch into it. So, that's an awesome piece of kit. And again, he's got the antennas on his website. If you want the 49-to-1 in-fed, he's got that. The other thing he does, and I will pull the link to the STL file for building your own. He actually gives you the list of parts and everything that you'll need. You guys can also get a hold of me, leave me a comment, and I can kind of walk you through if you want to do the random wire. Again, I prefer random wire over in-feds. It's a matter of personal choice. And we'll work on getting back here. I know we can do it. Oh, there we go. We've got video again. I guess we'll kind of give a quick shot of where I'm at and what we see up here. This is local to me and KF0RWH. This is Preparation State Canyon. Beautiful, beautiful park. Excellent view up here. All right. Well, again, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, taking time out of your busy schedules to watch the live stream. And I will see you guys again next week. Everybody have a good work week, and 73 to y'all.